So he came in at 3.5. He's now turning 8.
Wow.
And amazing. Nobody believes. If you see us, even the children's officers did a double take. They're like, we need a DNA. They know way this is not your biological child. Me, I knew God. See, now I'm done. The children, I told you I'm done.
Yes.
And now I'm almost where people are getting married. Me, I knew I'm done. Now I'm in new life. I sincerely can't tell you how we ended up adopting season 2. And our little guy, and I'm not afraid to say his name because he also shares his story, and we have really worked to help him share that story because it's his reality. I know many friends or many people whose kids don't even know they were adopted. And it's a very dangerous space because one day when that kid finds out, the child could be sick and needs some transplant or something, and then they find you don't match. I've seen one or two families that got a job, or green card, and then they wanted information, and all of a sudden, it's not checking. So I always tell people it's very scary to say to talk to the kids, but break it down in pieces that they can understand, and don't hide. Somebody in your family knows. A good friend knows. And I remember in our family, there's a boy who none of us knew was adopted. But it was some mamas washing clothes who one day said, these children look alike. And someone said, why shouldn't they look alike? No, that one, people before you say, that one is the one who was bought. This one was born. This one was bought. And people know. And one day something will come out. So I really urge parents, if you've adopted, it's very scary, but tell them in bits. I use the story of Moses a lot in the Bible. How Moses, his mommy loved him, but because she couldn't take care of him because of what was going on, another mommy came who now took him, Pharaoh's daughter, but one day he was able to help his people. And we talk about that. Some children have one mommy, some children have two mommies in the Bible. But that mommy loved you. She really loved you. You don't badmouth the other mom because you don't know what she was going through. She loved you, but she couldn't take care. So have you met her? No. Have you? So the child will keep asking questions as we go along. And so one day...
that is powerful.
Yeah.
Man, you know, I'm hearing you giving that story. I thought you were just giving an analogy, but then it hit me that no, this is how you would explain.
Yes, that's a story I use at least when they're little. So going back, so I'm in new life. I'm working. We love all the kids. When I first got there's a little boy I completely fell in love with, and I kept telling him, what if we could adopt my husband? And no, at our age, no. And I remember when that baby was placed with another family, I cried. And our staff go through that. We love all our children, and we really want them to get placement. But you know, it's like your baby, you know how they struggled from birth. Some come premature, and you struggle. Then after 3 years, 2 years, they are going out. So you are happy, but my baby, will they be fine? Did they eat? It's so emotional even for our staff.
Wow.
So one day, I'm just minding my business. I actually don't remember Kevin when he was little. But I'm minding my business, and then somebody says, oh, you came with your child to the office. I said, which child? That little guy looks so much like his dad. I said, you know his dad? So they meant my husband. So I look, I'm thinking, what? And from there, different times, different people, staff, visitors. Then all of a sudden, this child, our kids take an afternoon nap. Out of the blue, this child decides he's not napping anymore. There are some kids who don't nap. And every lunchtime, he comes to my office.
How old is he at this time?
He's about maybe 1.5, 2. Comes to my office every afternoon, and we always get 4 slices of bread. And says, I want bread. So we'd sit there eating bread. Once in a while, my husband will come to just see me in the office. this child will say, Uncle, I want to see the car. So they'd go, even till today, he loves cars. Ask him any car, I don't know them. He knows even American brands, what. Then we even asked, we can't explain how we ended up. So he was not yet freed for adoption. So we ended up first fostering him. Because a lot of the other kids were being placed, and it was beginning to get at him. When will my mommy and daddy come? Then one time he told people, one day, I told Jesus, and he was about 3. I told Jesus, my daddy will come in a big car. And they used to tell people that every day. I told Jesus, my daddy will come with a big car one day to take me. Fast forward, we now realize, Allah, we have this child, actually. We have space at home. We can foster him until maybe he gets adoptive parents instead of him being in the institution. People are going, he's always wondering, and me.
That must be a difficult time.
Yes, and the kids actually sometimes can figure, the older ones. Even 1 or 2 of our children who are physically handicapped, just, ambulation, waist down, they'll always ask, why was I not chosen? That's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Is it because of my legs? That's heartbreaking. But anyway, this little guy, I can't tell you how we decided, but I told my husband, but we've not even prepared the house. One afternoon I come home, they've changed my study room, they've put a bed with my niece. They're like, we're ready. The New Life guys are like, but every adoptive parent who needs clothes, we give clothes. So don't worry, we'll sort you out. Aki, within a month, I have a 3.5-year-old. He came as a foster child.
Yeah.
But you lock and bond. Within weeks, you're like, this is my child. Now you go into panic mode. Ooh, what if now, because it's foster, it's not your child. What if somebody comes? What if it's taken away? Oh, we're going into prayers. But went through the whole, and then being in my position, I did not want to short-circuit the system. So the case had to go to DCI. They did their checks, they did everything, and I thought, it's okay. Do everything, because I don't want ever to be told there's something I did to fast forward or that I didn't go through the due process. So anyway, he came to a family, and cutting long story short, eventually was freed for adoption. We went through the whole proper procedure, no shortcuts.
What would prevent a child from being freed for adoption?
So when a child is rescued, if let's say they were in a hospital and there's a phone number that was left, and that phone number is live, even when you call, even if they cut, so long as there's a connection, there's a known parent somewhere. And many parents will call, they say, oh, okay, yes, I want that child, but then our teams go, these guys don't show up. But you have to keep tracing, we have to keep tracing. So in a situation like that, that could be the case, or maybe a child was being trafficked, and so it's a case in court, or any matter that is in court, you cannot place that child for adoption.
Okay.
So the court first has to clear that child, and then the case will now move on to now the adoption agencies for the second clearance. So he came in at 3.5, he's now turning 8.
Wow.
And amazing, nobody believes. If you see us, even the children's officers did a double take, they're like, we need a DNA. They know, way, this is not your biological child. And I'm very grateful that he's able to share. He has told, I think, his classmates, they know he was adopted from New Life. But I know in different stages, different things will come out. As he gets into teenage years, there may be different questions. As he gets, so just helping the child begin to understand their story as we go along. Now, one neat thing we do at New Life, we celebrate every child's birthday. So when it's their first birthday, we even have a little cake, we have a card and a gift. When they're adopted, they go home with that card, they go home with that, and the parents also get pictures. We download all the pictures. So for him, I'm able to show him, this is who you are at birth. Look how you are, boom. This is who. So we make sure we keep that, because again, you don't want a child going to a family and there's a part of their life that was a blackout.
You guys are thoughtful.
So that little cake, so there are people who...
And how do you know their birthdays?
There are some who were left in hospitals as a birthday, but there are some who, and remember they come in very young. The doctors are able to estimate.
Okay.
There are things doctors are able to estimate, but many times if they were left in a hospital, there's an actual birth date. You know where the hospital was, so so when you come to adopt a child, once you are cleared, you get to know the child's file. Where did this child come from? What were the issues surrounding it? Number 2, we also show you the child's medical files at New Life. This is when he came, these were the issues, all the tests we've done. If he had comas, you get that whole log, you understand. Even if a child had been admitted, you get to understand. When you take the baby, before you take the baby home, you are required to do your own personal second medical opinion. You get that from your own independent doctor so that you know this is what I'm handling. We don't hide. We don't hide any of those, because again, you don't want a child going, then
returned.
Yes, it's not fair. It's not in the best interest of the child. So we got him, and it was an amazing.
What's that? I would like to know for you.
Yeah.
You see, you're becoming a mother at 3 years old. Do you need therapy? Do you need training? How do you?
When he's 3?
I have two girls, but I held them from birth. So as they grow, I am growing.
Yes.
I grow as a father, so I'm learning communication to this stranger, this, that, the other. By the time I'm growing together, you are getting a 3-year-old.
Yes.
Even if you brought me a 3-year-old right now, even though I've had experience with previous 3-year-old, I've only known to have 2 daughters. How do you and your husband acclimatize to this?
So when you, at New Life, when we are placing with a child, the first week, we require you to come Monday to Friday, every day, so that you are beginning to connect with the child, and it's not a stranger. Can you imagine coming to pick a child and you are home? They'll be screaming here. The neighbors will be wondering what's going on. Yeah. So by day 5, the child knows, these are my people. There's something special. They're always hanging out. They're not strangers. Then by law, you come home and stay with the child for 3 months. And it's a bonding, getting to know each other time. But now, those issues of, for me, maybe it's easy because that's what we do. So but I think even for most parents, even if today you got a 3-year-old, something kicks in. Yeah. So even if you had never had a 3-year-old, this little human wants to shower, needs to eat, needs to... And then, of course, you're also learning reading. But you see, you've also made the mental decision and heart decision. Yeah, so something is already forming.
It's like when the baby arrived.
Yes,
like what you're saying.
Something is forming, you kick in. And so that was, and he's been a very amazing child, very easy. I don't know, it was very seamless for us.
Difficulties that, so you may have had it easy. I'm just trying to think of somebody who per se may have not had it easy. For example, maybe a child has had trauma and now you've adopted them. I'm trying to hear advice from you so that a parent who's adopted a child whose things are not going easy doesn't just return them on that basis.
And we've had parents who panic and want to return the child, even from simple things. This child pees a lot. This child, and I'm thinking, no more, and train them. Or this child cries a lot, and you need to ask, so what's happening with the child? So at New Life, when you place you with a child, we ask you to come back every month. So the nurses are dealing with you and the child. Is there any medical concerns you've seen this month? The social workers are asking, how are you guys going through this? Are there issues? So we're keeping month by month, we're tracking with you. And until you get that adoption certificate, because we recognize we are still the legal guardians, we are tracking with you. So if some of those things come up, and maybe if somebody was saying there was a child who had gone through trauma, then they may ask, is there a child counselor? But I've not quite had that. Of course, I've had the issues of this baby cries a lot, or this child is not quite settling, what do we do? And so you advise. There's external help, maybe from the different counselors in the adoption agencies or out here. this is what you do. But then we also encourage, at New Life we have gatherings every year. Adoptive parents come together and we have a breakfast, we have something and we talk. So people will, what is the, like this year the discussion was disclosure. How do I tell my child they were adopted? So then we sit in different tables, people talk, and it's been amazing because I think people form little groups, friendships that go beyond it, and you're able to have almost like a support group that is working for you. So, but there's help. And it's like, I always say, a coin has two sides. Anything a biological child, anything an adopted child you fear them doing, even your own biological can do. There are a lot of stereotypes out there that adopted children, and they'll use those cases of betitet, at when they're big, they may kill you. Adopted children, how do you know their IQ? You don't know their medical history. You don't know if there were addictions in their family. You don't know anything a biological, an adopted child can do. Even your own can do. We've had cases of biological children who killed their parents. Horrible. We don't want that, but it happened. It can happen. We've had biological children taking their parents to court. You have biological children. You have two children. One is amazingly brilliant academically. The other one is just happy to make sure you just want them to make sure they finish school. There are no guarantees. They could have started out with a clean bill of health. Then they have a medical condition, and it's your biological child. So a child is a child for me. And as a Christian, I feel I still have the authority to deal with things I didn't know. And to say, Lord, and we do that at New Life. I wish you'd be at New Life when we receive a new baby. If we're doing this interview at New Life, it stops if a new baby comes. We get a call, the driver is 5 minutes, everything stops. We get out of the compound, out of our offices, we go to the gate. When the gate opens, they're singing, celebration. I'm sure even our neighbors here, they know another baby has come. Why? Because we say many of these babies were never celebrated at birth. When you got your own kids, everybody got to know, checked in everybody. But now these ones, maybe the mom didn't want, she just wanted to get, maybe some mothers cast through, we don't know. We begin with celebration, bring the child into our meeting area, and we begin to bless the child. People speak into the life of, you will be a great leader. We speak the calmness we see in you. May you always have that peace. May you always have this and that. And we speak, and then we give the child, if the child didn't have a name, we choose a powerful, meaningful name, an English name and a Swahili name. And then we pray for the child. We say in the same way, the doctors cut the cord at birth, physically to separate the child from the mother. Symbolically, we are cutting the spiritual cord. Anything that came from your biological family, we don't know. Whether it was addiction, this rejection, anything, it stops today. We are cutting it, and now we speak new life. New life begins today for you. And people now, the staff make commitments. We will love you. We will care. You are in a safe place. And we speak, and they're singing. And then we hand the baby now to the medical team, who now will go in, do the vitals, everything, and we move. So it's for us, it's not just a baby came in and we don't know. It's a big thing for us. And we want that child to remember. And we have video clips. That we can even say, this is how you were received. This is you when you were growing up. This is with you on your first, like my little guy came at 3. He knows he has his birthday card for his first birthday. And the toy, the second, and even he laughs. How come Bunny was with me? I said, that was your second birthday. So there's no gap that I don't know what happened to me before. And I'm very grateful to our founders that they brought us that thing. And it may look expensive, but it's not. It's that Kalito cake, even if it's 1,000, what will it mean to this child in years to come? You cannot equate it. So in our Kisumu home, I think, and Nakuru, we've had some people who will say, I'll donate cakes. Any birthday, just keep telling us, we'll donate. But even where we don't, we buy that cake, and we have that birthday, we take pictures, and we keep for the parents when they come. And we say, when he asks, this was the birthday, this is what happened. so that the child has a chronological sequence of from birth till when he moved to the family. So
that is such a powerful story.
Yeah.
There's there's one more story you need to share
Yes.
in this journey. But before that, I wanted to ask. That story, by the way, it's touched my heart in ways that you would understand. That is so intentional. It's so intentional for showering a child. My wife is a psychologist, and she talks about how children can even feel rejection in the womb. And we've understood the effects of rejections in life. So acceptance and through celebration. In fact, when you said that, I pictured the angels in heaven celebrating when somebody is born again.
Yes, yes.
You get?
Yes.
So what you're doing is so symbolic. And God bless you and your team for that. Continue the adoption story, because you and children, you like them.
Yeah, so we get this little guy, and now we are in kindergarten. So the school he goes to, of course, remember I was a youth pastor before.
Yeah.
So my guys who were in youth ministry are parents now. So he came to us just before COVID. So I remember they tell me, you wait, when COVID is over, we're meeting in the playing ground. So I always tell them, I am in the cheering team. I have the vuvuzela. I'm the one who blows it.
You're a parent with parents.
I am telling you.
With children you raised.
Yes. So I keep telling them, you know what? It's so amazing, because now when I need help, if I have a generational gap, see, I have all these uncles. And they can, if you see something that he needs to watch that we didn't know, see, And then I met friends whose parents actually gave birth to them in the late 40s, 50s. And they've grown up, they've seen their parents have seen them marry and everything, and they're like, what's the problem? And New Life, remember our founder had this dream when she was 7. New Life began when her founder was 50.
Wow.
The vision was birthed at 50. And she adopted her first child at 50.
Wow.
That boy at 50. He's now 31.
Is she still alive?
Yes.
What?
He's 31. So even when you're out there, bado. If I'm retiring at 85, I'll be a great grandmother. But it's been a good thing, because also, at this stage I am very cool. He's like, hey, we hang, we dance, we do. He thinks I'm the coolest mom. And I pray it continues even. and of course with Dad, they hang out a lot. They take a boys' week out. They'll go out camping for a whole week. So this is not for girls now, it's for boys. So he's come into our lives and just been a part of it. And I thought that's it. But then pressure began from him, from others. But now season 2 can't be just one. It's important even for him to have a sibling.